Welcome to the Bible Reader Companion. We're continuing our studies in 1 Thessalonians chapters 1 through 3. We continue to encourage you to read these 3 chapters each day. We're going to take our study today from 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, beginning in verse 4. Paul introduces this section by talking about the fact of how he approached these people with the gospel. Look at what he says. But as we have been approved by God to be entrusted with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but God who tests our hearts. This is a really important concept when it comes to talking to people about the gospel. What is our goal? Who are we trying to please? Who are we trying to make happy? What is our intent? Paul's intent clearly was not to get a pat on the back. He would say a little bit later in this section, in verse 6, nor did we seek glory from men, either from you or from others, when we might have made demands as apostles of Christ. Paul wasn't looking for a pat on the back. He wasn't looking to make his listeners feel good. He wasn't worried about them being happy with what he said. He was worried about pleasing God by delivering the right message. Now, there's some things he talks about in the way he did that. He says in verse 5 that he didn't use flattering words. He didn't try to butter them up. He didn't try to trick them into believing something. And it wasn't for covetousness, he says, nor a cloak for covetousness. It wasn't for personal gain. He wasn't trying to gain something out of it. He was simply trying to get people the simple message of Jesus and the cross and the gospel and salvation. He would go on to say in verse 7, we were gentle among you, just as a nursing mother cherishes her own children. You know, gospel doesn't have to be harsh. There's some harsh truth in there. But sometimes we need to nurture people and we need to cherish people. We need to understand that we're trying to save souls. We're trying to reach people with the gospel. We're trying to change lives. We're not looking to just be harsh and mean and cruel. Sin does that. Sin puts us at odds with God. What we need to do with the gospel is encourage people to come to Christ. One other thing I want to note that he says is in verse 11. He says, as you know how we exhorted and comforted and charged every one of you as a father does his own children. The purpose of the gospel is exhortation, encouragement, teaching. It's not about personal trophies. It's not about personal victories. It's about reaching people with the gospel and helping them be who they need to be. When we reach out to people with the gospel, what are we doing? Are we trying to please ourselves, trying to please men, or simply trying to please God and bring more souls to Him? Thank you for joining us today, and we'll hope you'll be back tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for more content like this.